everybody, this is Audra from Homesteading in Idaho. I'm out here at my square foot garden bed with some plants, some tools, and a little bit of a plan. I'm excited to show you guys this today. This was actually something I saw from Living Traditions Homestead on their YouTube channel a while back, and I ordered it. It's perfect for the square foot garden. This is one of those things, if you don't have, if you don't want to keep pulling out the measuring tape and everything, this tool is just phenomenal. It comes with a sheet with directions on how to use it, including all of these team up with the colors you see on here to tell you what to plant, where to plant. So how many in that square foot. This is pretty awesome. It fits, it's a square foot, fits right in your garden bed. As this planting deal, you can put it in the hole. It's marked 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches deep. You can put it in whichever hole it is you need. What's really fun is it has on the end here a scooper. You can scoop out seeds and put them right in the hole. I'm excited to get to use this today. Usually I pull out the old measuring tape, kind of get an idea, read the book, see, okay, how many do I need in a square foot? Just kind of guess from there. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to try to make it look a little bit more even, universal, neat. So I'm going to give that a shot this year. It was a purchase from Amazon, and I will try to remember to leave a link to that for you guys. So my focus today in the square foot garden is lettuces, beets, broccoli, cauliflower, there's onions, let's see, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. I think that's pretty much my focus for today in the square foot garden. So let's get started. This is my square foot garden. It is 4 feet wide and 14 feet long. I call these horseshoe nails. Pretty sure, there's multiple names for them. So it's horseshoe nails and then twine from our hay that we feed our goats, just back and forth through there to mark off the square feet. And what you see here is compost from our goats. That's aged compost. I tilled it up, brought it up here. Well, I didn't actually, this one wasn't tilled. This one was dug out of the goat yard with a shovel. I actually prefer tilling because it makes it softer, but I was in a hurry. So between a shovel and a fork, I got these out of there, a pitchfork, and it's all up here in the garden. This has been allowed to sit here, and I've got it each week, make sure to keep it wet. So it's composting, and it's been aging up here for, I think this has been at least 3 months. I want to say it was, is it January or February? So 2 to 3 months roughly that this has been here. And we do have this kind of grass, let's see, that loves to grow, has these wonderful roots that spread all over the place. It's just a constant battle, but I pick the grass and the occasional weeds, but see the chickens, besides all the fruit scraps that they have right now, they'll take care of the grass for me also. The ladies right there, that group is actually working on some grass I pulled from the garden today. So we're going to use our tool here. This is the seeding square. Pull out my chart. Now, in this garden bed, I can get right here, I can walk right there, and of course I can walk around the front here and both sides. But I have this compost deal here that I put in, and I honestly don't want to move it. Yeah, it's sort of in the way, but I will live with it. So what I'm thinking about doing is in 1, 2, 3, 4, even the 5th square here, let's see, something that takes up an entire foot. Let's go to the orange thing. See, it says broccoli, Brussels sprout, cabbage, cauliflower. Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I had to read what that was saying. So in the orange square here, it works out perfectly. I can put broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, things like that right in there. And that works out really well because I have broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower that I need to plant. So right there in the back, and then I can plant things that are taller, like tall lettuce there, and then shorter and shorter coming forward. Now, something else I need to remember while I'm doing this today is that certain plants really don't like to be around other plants. they can just cause you some issues. So let's pull out the companion planting guide here. Let's go here to broccoli. Let's see, no, we're good there. I remember there was something when I planted the other day, onions. Oh, that's right, onions aren't big on asparagus, or peas, and I was planting peas that day. So onions I don't think I need to worry about. Let's see, cabbage, broccoli. Nope, I think we're good today. Where's the lettuce? Down here. Okay, so lettuce isn't a big fan of cabbage. So I'll just have to put a little bit of a gap in there. That's all right. So I'm going to pull out some plants and get started. So I've already gone ahead and got 4 plants planted in there. I did not use the square foot tool only because it's pretty easy to tell where the middle of the square is. So on the right is some gypsy broccoli. Next to it is orbit green cauliflower. Then I have a red cabbage and then a red bull Brussels sprout. I put the cabbage sort of in the middle there because I really am not going to have to mess with that for quite a while, whereas I'm going to be reaching and taking care of the broccoli, the cauliflower, and the Brussels sprouts. So I put those where I can reach around and get to them a little bit easier. I also have recorded what I've done. So I've got a map of this 4x14 there on the right side of this page with it. Each foot is numbered. And then here on the left side, it's like square one, it says what I planted, when I planted. So everything is being recorded. I can know what I'm doing. This is so I can look back later and go, okay, did I have any problems? Did it work out that way? What can I change? Or am I going to do that again? This is just a small selection of some of the other things I want to get planted in here pretty quickly. So this is some really sad looking lettuce. It got a little bit hot, but if you look here, it's actually still growing very, very well. So I will trim off these dead pieces here in a little bit and plant that lettuce. If you see your plants looking like this, just give them a little bit of extra TLC, but don't give up on them. Don't throw away that money that you spent or that time. You know, just give them a little TLC, give them some love, and they usually will pop right back out of it. Okay, so in the back, remember I've got broccoli, cauliflower, a cabbage, and some Brussels sprouts. So up here, I've got onions, lettuce, Swiss chard, Swiss chard, and some beets. So let's see, and remember the lettuce doesn't like cabbage, so the lettuce I'm going to bring it forward at least 2 squares so that it's not too close to the cabbage. So here we go. Red has beets in here. You guys can see that. 16 per square. Well, let's see. These are sown in clusters at the greenhouse, but usually you can gently pull them apart, very, very gently, and they will survive. So I think I've got roughly 16 there. And I'll probably put those actually in one of these front ones. Let's see if we can find Swiss chard somewhere on this list. Let's see. There we go. It's in the blue square. So it says I can do 4 Swiss chard in a square. Hey, so that works out really well. There's, for the most part, 4, well actually, looks like I've got a few extras, but I will just take them out of the cell that each one is in and just plant them directly in the ground. So, all right, we've got 4 of those guys. Let's go over here, and I will tell you, my squares are not perfectly square because my bed's not perfectly square, but it is what it is. So, let's see, that was the blue square, 4 of them. So, let's take our planting guide, put this in that square, and I'm going to put the Swiss chard in front of the cabbage just so I don't mess up and put any lettuce there. I wanted to focus on that first. So blue, take our handy dandy deal. Now I should have probably gotten my soil a bit wet before I did this, maybe to help me get the holes, but let's see if we can at least try to mark it. It's dancing around a little bit, but it's okay. Let's see if we can see those holes. Hey, you know what? I can. There's one here, and one there. So that worked out very well. Put this over here. So, handy dandy shovel. Just go like that. And then I just kind of take my shovel and break up the soil a bit so that the roots, when I put that plant in there, they're not going to get compacted. Sometimes it's really easy to end up with your soil compacting, and then your roots get all wound up around themselves, and you end up with a plant that didn't grow very well because it had an unhealthy root system. So I do that, I just kind of move that shovel around in there. And the nice thing is, because this is compost, it's actually pretty fluffy as it is. So we're going to take our Swiss chard, give that cell right there a squeeze. Put your finger on the bottom, just kind of squeeze it out. Now see how the roots, see how they're really bound up on themselves? That's it. When roots run into something hard, they'll back up and they'll go around even themselves. So I'm going to take this and very carefully use my fingers. It's easier, way easier with two hands, but holding the camera. So anyway, just work those roots loose like this. Because otherwise they will honestly, like, you'll have some of them that'll branch out from each other, but it's amazing how they will continue. At the end of the season, you'll pull plants out that have continued to wind around themselves. I don't want to do too much damage. I don't want to kill the plant, but I want to loosen it up. So now see, here's a taproot right here. Here's a long one. What we've done is we've allowed those ones to free up a little bit. Put it right there in my hole. Bring my compost around it a little bit. Just like that. There we go. There's one Swiss chard. 3 more to go. The next thing I would like to get planted are some onions. They fall in the yellow. They are 9 per square. So just come on over here. I think I'm going to put it in front right here where it's at. Got it lined up as best as I can. We'll just start marking our spots. 4, 5, 6. My squirrel quit dancing around. 7, 8, and 9. Let's see what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I bet you that one's 9. There we go. Now I bet you were thinking, how's she going to do that? Because my onions are planted like that. Onions don't mind their roots being played with too much, so I'm going to set the camera up here so I can record how I'm going to separate these guys. I think there was 8 on this side and a little over 9 on this side, so it was going to work out very, very nicely. Okay, so our onions are like this. I'm going to give this a squeeze. Pull it on out. Now, take this. We're going to lose some soil. That's just fine. Loosen up our soil. Try to do this where you guys can see me. Okay. See these roots? Just tease them. Just kind of work them apart like this. These guys will just relax. Here we go. See how long those roots actually are when they're not balled up around themselves? Look at that. So, I'm getting it loosened up. Now you don't want to tear the bulb away from its roots. We just got to work on it here. See, it's really... Just got to work on it. I do this. I just did this in another bed the other day, and nothing bad happened to them. They're all growing just beautifully. All this work to get 9 onions. Okay. Now I know why I enjoy cluster planting in my other gardens. I mean, you still have to separate them, but let's see. Start giving it some wiggle. Work it apart. There we go. Now it's starting to loosen up, it feels. There we go. See that? So I'm gripping the bottom, I'm gripping those roots, and I'm just coaxing it to separate. Just ever so gently. There we go. We got one. Let's see what we got. Two. Three. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh shoot, I thought I had 8 in that cluster. It's alright, that's why we got this big cluster here too. There's quite a few in it. Before I break this one apart though, I'm going to take these ones so they don't dry out, and I'm going to go get them in their holes. This is the square that I marked. These are my onions. Gently get my shovel in the hole like that. Make a little bit of a space for this onion and tuck him on in. And just repeat with all the rest. And there we go. 9 happy little onions hanging out. I buried them just up to their neck, so see on these bulbs, see where the white is? I don't go quite all the way up this white, but I go about halfway. Give that onion plenty of support. Alright, what's next? What do you think? The sad lettuce? Yes, I'm thinking sad lettuce. Alright, let's see. Where was lettuce at on this? I'm kind of thinking, yeah, right here, lettuce. Perfect, I have 4 lettuce. Let's do that. The wind's getting a little bit brisk, so let me put that right there. So the cabbage is right there. Let's put these sad little lettuce right here. Hopefully it's enough distance. You know, this square is kind of goofy, right? Can't really use my square because it's got the foot peg or foot post in here where we connected everything together. So maybe it was not the best spot. Well, okay, maybe not. We'll just move over 1 square. Let's put our lettuce right here. Where's my shovel? Here we go. So I'm not going to use my seeding square. I'm just going to go 1 hole, 2 hole, 3, and 4. And put our little lettuces right in there. Well, the lettuce are now in their square. So this is one of my sad little lettuces. Looks like this, but actually a little worse. I should have shown you what it was bad. But I don't want the plant to focus on trying to work with these leaves that are pretty much toast. I want them to think about these healthy leaves, get them going. So take your scissors. It's kind of hard to cut these guys when they're feeling so wimpy. Just pull those out. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a trim. And actually, even this romaine, some of these leaves are really sad. I don't want the plant focusing on those leaves. So we'll remove those. And those are now chicken snacks. Let's see, this leaf here, pretty sad. This one, I might leave that leaf. But see, look here, under here. See how some of these are just, they're not good. We don't want the plant to focus on those, so we remove them. Now, you don't use your fingers and really pull them off. I mean, you could, but you don't want to be tearing at the plant. So that's why I use my cutters. This one, this leaf is pretty bent over, and I'm going to remove this leaf here. Just like so. Now, that doesn't quite look so sad and unhappy now. Looks a little bit better. A little bit more presentable. So I was standing here and I'm looking at my garden. I'm looking at my book. I'm looking at my garden. Looking at my book, and I was like, wait a minute. So earlier, when I showed you guys this page, I showed you that this right here was my map. Well, I was looking at it just now and I was like, oh, I only made it 3 wide and 14 long. So I had to fix a couple things on where everything was planted. So yeah, that was my goof earlier. I went ahead and planted the remaining Walla Walla onions down here, just because onions can have such an excellent ability to help with pests in the garden, like bugs and insects you don't want. So I went ahead and put them kind of there in the middle for now, and then I can fill in around them as I need to. This is what I've got so far though. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 10. I've got 10 out of 56 square feet planted. Like at first, you know, you look at this garden bed, and honestly, 4 by 14 is big, but at the same time it seems really, really small. And I can't believe, I'm like, oh my gosh, those trays right there are empty. It seemed like I had so much. I've got all this extra room. So you see the wheelbarrow there. I think I'm just going to plant everything in here that's in that wheelbarrow, because I literally have 2 or 3 times that amount in the greenhouse to plant. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fill this up and get this all done and planted today. And there we go. Just like that, a huge portion of this garden is planted. These are all things that you can be planting right now. These are cold tolerant crops. Unless of course you're down where, you know, like Florida, Texas, places like that. I hear you don't want to be doing that anymore this time of year. But this is my page. I had to put multiple numbers down here. It's because I had so many squares that had like lettuce or the broccoli, the cauliflower, things like that. So, but my goodness, I still have so many empty squares, but for the most part, there's a good section of this that's actually filled now. It feels so good having this done. Well, not done, but today's job of this is done.